let's talk. This goes into sex is killing our community. Do you think that people are just too obsessed with sex? I mean, think about it. Single motherhood, all because of sex. Low marriage rates. If you weren't getting sex, you'd be getting married. We just saw that article about the coach who was molesting those kids. I'm sorry, you guys. We saw an article about a coach molesting kids. Sex. So, do you think that sex is bringing the community is really the biggest problem in our community?
So you're really going to hate this answer, but I will say this: men haven't switched up. We have always been hypersexual people. Like that's just kind of how we are. If there's an opportunity, we're gonna poke it down. What I will say is the culture is now hypersexualized for women as well. So yes, there's more sex because more women are giving sex up freely, and I think that when the one point in the manos in the red pill manosphere is women need to close their legs. But again, like guys are going to like since the beginning of time, we're gonna have sex. That's just that's the shit that that's what we do. You give us an opportunity, we're gonna take it. For the most part, I mean.
So do you think that do you think that people are just now having sex? Like I think that people have always had sex.
No, it hasn't been as it has never been this like this hypersexualized is the word that comes to mind. I think that.
Do you think we just see it more because social media puts it in our face? Because think about it, let's take social media out of the equation. You won't see it as much. It don't mean she's still ain't a hoe down the street, but you just don't see it.
It's not just social media, right? Like sex in general is just more readily available. Like when we look at like the corn industry, you could use it for the privacy of your phone or your laptop or whatever, right? You don't have to go down to the store and to the shady corner and like, have a fake ID and all of this. Like all of it is readily available. And I understand the whole like asking women to close their legs, right? And I'm not saying like de-discipline, but at the same time, we're hearing the same conversation from those same men asking women to keep their knees together to say, if you're not putting out after a certain amount of dates, you're being kicked to the curb. If you're not putting out after, a certain amount of time, you're being kicked to the curb. If you deny me even once, you're being kicked to the curb, right? So the messaging that women are getting is if you are not parting your knees, you are not getting a man. So it's really inconsistent communication that you're just going to be stuck alone forever if you part your knees, and you're going to be stuck alone forever if you don't. So I think that women are pinned between a rock and a hard place. And I think a lot of women are rebelling, choosing to just do whatever it is that they want. Now, is it good for the community? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The statistics show it, society shows it, social media shows it. It's not good for the community, but I understand the nature of rebelling when any option you choose could possibly result in you not winding up with the person that you want to.
So quit messing with fuck boys. Like that's the number
Well,
one
it's
thing.
not just them. Nice boys do it too.
Yeah. Do they kick you out the car after
This is
10
my thing.
dates?
This is my
Do you
thing.
make it to 10 dates with those guys? Do they show you the red flags right out the gate? Probably. Or do they notice the red flags, or do they notice that you're not the kind of woman that's just gonna part your legs? Those guys, keep pushing with those guys, and shit. All you gotta do is get it right. You're supposed to only have to get it right once.
Let me say this. This is the only problem I have with that. If men were getting married, if these good guys, and now if you give me a good guy who is married, and he's dedicated and he has marriage on his mind, I will say, and let me just say this: not wanting to be married does not mean you're not a good guy. I'm not going to say that doesn't mean you're a good. So let's take the good out of it. Let's just say ready to marry. Okay, so when you got a guy who is ready, he's that great guy as far as marriage is concerned, and he's in his late 30s and 40s. you're not gonna influence me that he has never had access to a great woman that he could have married. He messed over somebody. There's somebody out there who does not think he's a great guy. Somebody.
This dude name is artificial womb grown virgin wife then son. That is crazy.
What?
What?
I'm in the chat and I just seen this name and that shit just started me laughing. I wasn't laughing at what you were saying. An artificial womb, a grown virgin wife then son. That is wild. You don't. All right. Maybe it's not funny, y'all, but it's hilarious.
So this is my thing. So Isaiah made a great point. He said, "Why should good guys marry ran through women? You shouldn't, but you shouldn't be running through women too, because that means you're not a good guy. You're contributing to the problem. You're just as toxic. To create a problem, you're just as toxic. Period. So you want to be that good guy, then do good things for the community. Don't cause problems in the community. Why would you think that was good?"
So you saying the men who slept with women of their own volition, they the problem in the community, didn't give them babies?
It doesn't matter if you're contributing to the issue. You are, you're a part of the problem. You are. You have to have standards as well. And nobody wants to be ding-a-ling. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. My first statement still stands. Men are going to men. You know what I'm saying? Like we are going to be men. So if that Red Sea parts, we're gonna go ahead and jump on in. Like that's
maybe not red, but yeah.
You know what I'm.
You gonna have flags.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely not.
Yes.
I mean, some guys do, I guess.
I know.
So AP, like I hear what you're saying, but here's my pushback for that, right? Yes, men have always been sexual beings. Yes, men have wanted to sow their oats as many places as they possibly could. But men also went from sowing their oats with women whose profession it was to satisfy that need to your average everyday girl. And that's the thing that Shane is getting
manipulation tactics.
Yeah. Not just that, right? Sometimes it's honesty. Sometimes it's, the promise of forever and all of this stuff, right? Like there's a multitude of different ways that different men do it. But like that has changed, right?
Well,
women didn't just wake up one day and decide we're all going to spread our knees. Like that just didn't happen. Like there was a cause and this is the effect. And I think until we can acknowledge that, like, to be honest, it just sounds like slut shaming, right? Which, is not necessarily a bad thing. But when you're talking about it to this degree, I think it completely takes the onus off of the fact that men have actually changed, and that refusal to acknowledge it totally makes it seem like women just, rallied the troops and decided we were all going to do this together for no reason.